Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
And hello, everybody. Michael here.
John.
And Andrew. And we are the Toy Rewind Podcast. I caught what you were doing there, Michael. So I think John did too. Welcome to Toy Rewind Podcast, just a little place for the three of us like to get together, chat about some toy lines from our childhood, and give you a history lesson about how that toy line was created and ended up in all of our households. This week, we rewind back to 1976, a time before Michael, to talk about a line of toys, science fiction figures released by Mego called Micronauts. This has been on our list for a little while.
For a while, yeah.
I think, it's been on the list since we made the original list.
Yes.
But I think it kind of started to pop up when you ended up with a couple of these, Michael, out of a random grab bag or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember how you got that.
We were in Canton last year, which is a little trades day thing here in East Texas. And I was going through a booth and they had some toys and stuff. And I just saw a little, I think it was $5 bag or some little Ziploc bag that had some little figures in it. And when I opened it up, was looking through them, I got 3 Micronaut time travelers from the first series because they're clear. I got the yellow, a clear one, and or clear yellow, clear, and clear orange. Yeah, they're all
clear.
They're all clear, but the clear one's no color to it. It's just
Clear.
see-through plastic. Yeah.
Transparent. Yeah. So
these are pretty cool things. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the Micronauts. This is a very interesting line. But I think all the Mego lines have been pretty interesting, like just kind of different.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
I don't think there's been a Mego line that we've talked about that's been just like, oh man, this is straightforward, awesome. They've just been kind of, the history behind them has been a little weird.
Yeah, and it's all been, and I'll get to this in the notes, but they've all been licensed products that we've talked about with them through movies or stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, with that, John, why don't you do your thing? We can jump into Toy Talk.
Hey, just real quick, Michael, did you turn around your desk or something?
No.
I've been doing move stuff out of the way of the window.
I was wondering how long you guys have noticed.
Oh my gosh, the window!
I have been moving.
Where did the window come from? I was like,
Window's always been there, John. It's just been covered up by Tony Stewart and Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, I had my NASCAR stuff back there long against the window, so you couldn't see it. But
because I was looking, I was like, okay, this is still there. That's still there, but the window's there.
Yeah,
heard.
I've done a little rearranging, which I'll finish up this next week. So I'll spend some time on that. So that's why it looks, the background's a little bit different, but not a lot different, but it's a little bit.
I spent a few years in that bedroom and I forgot it had a window. I mean, all bedrooms have windows, but I completely had forgotten it had a window in it.
Yeah.
Well, we're not used to seeing it because it was covered up.
That's right.
I had it covered up, but now it's not covered at the moment.
Heard. All right. So let's talk about our social networks. Where to find us. Check our website over at toyrewindpodcast.com, or you can look us up on crossthestreamsmedia.com. If you do go to Cross the Streams Media, of course, you can leave us a voicemail if you'd like to. We'll play it on the episodes as we go through and hear them. You can email us, toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. Maybe here soon we can get back into doing some showcases or something, and we'll put those on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, of course. And then if you'd like to play along with a little bingo game, you can go to podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind and play along. Let us know if you get a bingo.
Yep. Play along. That's that bingo thing. It's there. Play. It's a lot of fun. Someday it'll get updated. Lots of stuff always in the works to be updated. I think we should address Michael's name. I dropped this to you guys right before I hit go on this episode.
You
So
talk about it, then hit start. Rob.
Yeah, no, he was like,
right in the middle.
I
right in the
wanted
middle
to
sentence.
I wanted to give you a heads up, but I think we should talk about this. So I heard about a podcast, or I heard a part of a podcast. I haven't heard the whole thing, where there is a con artist, I believe it's a con artist that is in South America that goes by the name of the Professor. And so I would like to take a motion that maybe we should retire Michael's nickname of the Professor, because I don't want somebody to hear this and think,
oh, that's the Professor.
yeah,
He's
I
a con
like.
artist down in South America.
I mean, I think it's a long shot, but you know,
It's a very long shot. Michael couldn't get to South America.
I also don't want like the FBI or anybody to like hear it and then go question him just to clear him. Like, we don't need that. So, you know, what do you guys think? Should we retire it?
Nah.
I think there's plenty. There's a lot of professors out there.
All right,
True.
If they come after you, it's not my fault.
But
Then
he is not the con artist from South America, and
And
as
I'm not-
has been, will be
as far as we know, John.
true.
Maybe I'm the artist formerly known as the Professor artist.
The con artist formerly known
Right.
as the Professor.
But see, the only way Michael would get down there is to drive.
You have to.
Yeah, he's not
It's a
flying.
long
I don't think you-
drive.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you can drive down there because there's this thing called the Panama Canal, and I don't think you can drive over it. I don't know if there's a bridge. Maybe there
Yeah,
is.
you can get across it. You can get across it.
I'm going
Can
to look that up. Can you drive across
Google it.
Yep, Google
the
it.
Panama Canal? There have been 2 bridges over the canal since 2003 that you can drive. Okay, so you can drive across the Panama Canal, but only since 2003. So, have there been, John, any times where Michael has disappeared for weeks at a time?
I don't know. That was me. When I disappeared, I don't know what y'all did.
I'm just trying to think, like, you know, because it would
You
take
would have a better recollection of that than me. I can say that much.
I don't think
If you
that's
don't
true.
see me for weeks at a time, I'm here at the house. So.
You're all right. So we know that he's not the con artist of the
You can
Professor.
just call him the nutty. No, we can't do that. I guess. Never mind.
No. All right. Well, Michael, are you ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right. Let's go.
All right. So I know there's a couple words in here that'll probably drive our buddy Aaron crazy because they are Japanese names, and he went crazy during the Godzilla
He did.
episode. So, but shout out to Aaron and them guys at Front Row Negative. So, sorry if I do butcher a name or two, but here we go. So, Micronauts was a toy line by Mego that ran from 1976 to 1980. Although I've seen some say that they were actually ran from 77 to 81. The copyright date is actually 76, and the last year was copyright date was 1980. So, but this is based on a license from the Microman line that was created by Takara. So I know we kind of spoke about Microman on our Transformer episode as well. I'll get to that here in a minute, but this is the same line that they were. Some of the Transformers were licensed from by Hasbro. So these figures were the regular figures were 3 3/4 inches and were known for their high number of articulations compared to other toy lines of the 70s. The ones I have here, there's the ankles, the knees, the hips, the waist, the elbow, the shoulder, the wrist, the head, everything twists and turns on these things. And the feet come off, and you can place other things on there, and the feet and the hands can pop off with other things. So there's a lot of little articulation, and mine are so limp now. They just look like, when you hang them by the head, they just look like marionette puppets just flopping around.
I think that's what we thought they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you just twist it here, they just flop all over the place. So they don't they're not very strong joints now. So to really know where these Micronauts came from, we'll go all the way back a few years when Barbie actually influenced the creation of influenced Hasbro to create G.I. Joe. So we've talked about that too on our original, the 12-inch G.I. Joe episode. They created the Joe and then all the accessories with it. So that's something that they created, and then Hasbro ended up licensing out the Joe line to Takara. So it went from Hasbro to Takara, who then turned the line turned the G.I. Joe line that they licensed, turned them into what was called the Henshin Cyborg line, which Henshin in Japanese is transforming. So it's a transforming cyborg. In 1972, these figures, they molded these figures in a clear plastic, exposing the inner workings and supposed cybernetic parts. So they pretty much turned G.I. Joe, the 12-inch G.I. Joes, into a cyborg-looking figure. They did remold the heads to make it look more robotic, and there's a few other modifications to them to make them look more robotic. So like cyborgs and stuff like that. So in 1974 saw the increase in oil prices, which affected the plastic industry, which led toy companies to rethink many larger toy lines that use a lot of plastic. So they started thinking about what can we do to reduce the cost of this toy line. So Takara came up with the idea of making smaller versions of the Henshin cyborgs and named the line Microman. So that's where the Microman line comes from. So, like I said, as mentioned in our Transformers episode, Takara later added to their Microman line everyday objects that can transform into robots. And then that's where Hasbro picked those items up to become part of the Transformers. But like I said, that's in our Transformer episode. So, but before Takara got to that point, Mego ended up licensing the Microman toys from Takara, and they renamed them for North America and other countries as Micronauts instead of Microman. So Mego was already a huge player in the toy business with the world's greatest hero line. They had licensing deal with almost every character on TV, like Happy Days and MASH, all those, and they had all the superheroes, the DC Comics, the Marvel comic characters.
So they had both of them, Marvel and DC.
Yeah, they had both of them. They had. We talked about the monsters, Wolfman and Frankenstein and the Mummy and Dracula. All that we talked about those as well on one of our Halloween episodes. So they had that whole niche cornered. The 12-inch, 8-inch toy line figures were cornered. So what they were actually just needed, because those were all licensed products. They actually needed a product of their own, which they didn't have. So that's why they went to Takara and said, hey, and Takara was looking for a partner to help make even more of these. It would make more money for both of them if both companies were making the products too. So, but they took that and they grew something else, of their own out of this. So Microman, one of the things Microman has, or Micronauts, they got a 5mm peg and hole interchangeability system that allowed any item from the line to be fully interchangeable with each other. So you have parts from the figures and parts from the vehicles and parts from the PlayStations that can actually interchange on all the figures and vehicles and all that. So then you can assemble it any way you wanted. You can use your imagination to create all different kind of things with this.
Sounds like they were trying to be G.I. Joe, but with Legos.
Yeah, something like that, I guess. Yeah. And what was neat is
Lego?
When you're going back to the
G.I.
GI Joe aspect, when they redesigned, when they came out with the 3 3/4 inch GI Joes, these guys were already 3 3/4 inch. So you think Star Wars was the first 3 3/4 inch? Actually, these came out almost a full year before Star Wars came out. So
That's nonsense, Michael. You can't rewrite history. We all know Star Wars was the first one. That's what they said.
So
in the toys that made us.
Okay, just quick flashback onto the history of Mego having all these toy lines, but they didn't have Star Wars.
Nope.
Do you know how they missed it?
Tell us, John, because I know you're going to tell us.
So the guy that was doing the licensings for this was actually interested in it, but he was out of country working on another license when they started doing the bidding and stuff for the Star Wars stuff, and he missed out on it.
I think that's what he's saying now. Originally, they had said originally the story was he turned it down, but then he retroconned his story and said, "Oh, I was out of country, and I wasn't here when they were shopping it around, so I didn't get the chance to try to pick it up." So
I mean, you got to think about it. They were picking up everything, so they really tried, and there's somehow he missed that. And why would
you have to retrocon that story, because if you're like, I turned down Star Wars.
Yeah, it just makes you an idiot.
You should
also the one that pretty much shut him down.
Nobody would ever hire you ever for anything.
Yeah, once Star Wars came out and all these other companies started doing other things, it hurt me bad.
Now you question, had Mego gotten the Star Wars, would we have ended up with that Christmas box of no toys?
They might have had some toys out before Hasbro did.
Yeah.
Or Kenner. Sorry, Kenner.
Or Kenner, not Hasbro. Kenner.
Yeah, Kenner had it.
We got to retcon that. So back to Micronauts.
So what was that, John?
I said back to the toys.
Back to the toys. So the line did great for Mego, making up around a third of its total sales for the toy company within those years, which is a big deal. I mean, we know by 80, 81, Mego was shutting its doors because it went bankrupt, filed for bankruptcy, all that kind of mess. But at that time, this line, if the other lines were actually doing better for them, they would have had, because this is a third of their sales is in this one line. So, but like I said, by 1979-80, Mego started to release, or by 1979-80, Mego started to release their own concepts that were not Takara pieces. So they were working on getting more pieces out there that they actually designed and not licensed from Takara, which also saved them a little more money when they were doing their own thing other than spending the money to bring it over here. But like I said, by 1980, Mego was getting ready to shut down. So that was pretty much the end of the line there. So the Micronauts line, they had 5 different releases from 76 to 80, or some of these other sites I've been looking at says from 77 to 81. Like I said, the first series was a culmination of the first 2 years of the Microman that was already out in Japan. So it was just something that they were getting the same figures that were, I think they were just recolored some of them or whatever from Japan and bringing them over here and selling them under the Micronauts name. So that's pretty much the story behind the Micronauts, how it became and one of the biggest toys lines for Mego there. So
These are really, I have to admit, it's very interesting. I didn't realize the word knots meant sailors, because I know like that's a sea term, like the speed. I know that, but like I think that's a different. That's a KNOTS,
right?
Yeah, that's knots. But like knots, like the end of a word. Like there's astronauts,
mm-hmm.
but so they're technically astronauts or space sailors.
Right.
Yeah.
I never thought about that until I was trying to come up with a stupid name for our stream here, which is Smallish Sailors from Space. But I was like, I didn't know that until today. It's kind of weird.
A little bit.
I'm not an idiot though, but you know.
A little bit more information on this line. After Mego shut down, they sold the molds to other companies. There was one called what was the name of this company? Trying to find this. I didn't write it down. But there was another company that came out with these that it was a little bit cheaper plastic, kind of a knockoff look thing. But they were called interchangeables, is what they were called. And they came out mid 80s, about 1985. But they, like I said, they were a little bit different. They were more bright neon colored schemes. Like I said, the plastic was a little bit cheaper. Still can't figure out what the company is off the top of my head. But they came out and it didn't last very long. And then a little bit later, there was with the guy that ran Mego Toys, Marty Abrams. He teamed up with a buddy of his, and they actually came up with another toy company of themselves that they used some of these stuff that they had, but they were called Lords of Light, and really the only things they used in there were some of the alien creatures from later, as the vehicles from the later series, from the Mego series. But it didn't last very long either. It was less than a year and it was already done. And then Palisades Toys, they got in the early 2002, 2001, 2002. They wanted to reissue new stuff. So they got the licensing and everything for it, but the molds weren't available anymore. So what they did was they asked people to send in their figures, their toys, and they made new molds out of the product. And so they had their factory ready to make the pieces. Well, the factory actually sourced out to another factory, and it was really crappy designs that when they made the toys, it wasn't done very good. And by the time they got here, they started falling apart. They broke easily, and so by the time they got all that figured out and got another series set to go and doing it right, people had already lost interest in it, lost their weren't secure with what the toy line was, so they just kind of hurt Palisade Toys as well on that. So
you know you're in trouble when Michael says crappy toys.
Yeah, when you make a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, and the factory didn't help none by sourcing it out to another factory that did even worse job than what they would have done to start off with. So,
that from the guy who has GoBot second on his list right now. So
yeah. Well, so it's
Micronauts were canceled like 8 times, weren't they? Over the many years.
Yeah, there was several,
every year canceled.
And a lot of that was with like somebody trying to come up with a new cartoon or a new movie or a comic book series. Actually, most of those cancellations were comic book series.
Right.
So it just didn't work out for them over and over and over, and it's a cool concept. They just, for some reason, it just doesn't stick around very long.
Yeah. So. And then who owns them now? Is it Hasbro?
Yeah, it's Hasbro that owns the Micronauts.
Like full circle from, hey, we're gonna copy Barbie stuff and G.I. Joe stuff, and then now it's owned by Hasbro, by the way.
I mean, Hasbro owns half of everything now, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the toy line, you're making it when Hasbro tries to buy you.
Ding
Yeah.
ding. We got a phone line or a phone noise, by the way.
It wasn't the first one, but
Oh, I might have missed the other one.
All right. So
So let's talk about these little figures. We got what 5 series to talk about? Because
yeah, that was 5 series.
we're not talking interchangeables or Lords of Light or
No, we're not. We're just going to talk about the Mego
Palisades.
Mego releases.
We're talking about the Mego releases from
Yeah.
76 to 80,
So
and not beyond.
not beyond. So series 1, the figures that came out were, you had your time travelers, and it's 4 different figures. They're all the same figure, but they're 4 different colors. There was a red, a clear, a blue, and yellow. Like I said, or I guess mine orange one is actually supposed to be red. I guess
that's what I was going to say.
I was about to say, is your clear
Yeah,
one
I was-
supposed to be yellow and your orange one's supposed to be red?
No, the orange one is supposed to be red, I think, and then it's yellow and clear. But these guys, they came with little chest plates, and you could change those out. Like I said, their arms, you can pop their hands off. The little cuffs that hold their hands can pop off. Their ankles and their feet can pop off, and you can change them out with other things. You've got the chest plates come in different colors. You find them in different colors as well. So, I mean, there's not really much difference between the 4 of them except for the colors. So that's your first figure. Then you had the Space Glider. There's actually 3 of those guys. These were actually almost made entirely out of die-cast. And they came in 3 different colors. There's blue, gold, and green. They had detachable parts that included the hands, the wrist cuffs, the helmet. They had a helmet on. These guys came with a wing pack that would snap on their back, and the wings you push a button on the backpack and the wings would pop up. So that's kind of those guys there. So the tagline is metal diecast space warrior with flap out wing pack. So, and then your next group of figures is the Galactic Warriors. These are similar. They're more. These have got diecast as well, but they have a backpack that has a little rubber tipped missile. And it would shoot the missile.
Let's launch stuff at people.
You have to be safe. It has to be rubber.
Yeah, it's a rubber rounded tipped missile. Yeah, it's not pointy or anything. But they also have a hand bazooka that comes with these guys too that hold that missile. So you can actually shoot it by holding it as well, other than having it on their backpack.
With those
Kinda
puny
like-
arms?
Yeah.
So the backpack is the hand bazooka.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can use it as a backpack or a hand bazooka. But the backpack kind of looks like Boba Fett's rocket launcher thing. So,
Kinda. With a big red spot on it.
and then you have the Crier. These are the bad guys of the set, the enemy of the Micronauts. These have they look more robotic than the Micronauts do. They have detachable arms, detachable feet. They have little rollers on their feet so they can roll around by standing there. They come with a dagger. Their backpack has little rotary looking motor things that I guess will help them fly around. But there are 3 of those. There's like a gold, a chrome, and then a red chrome looking one. So, and all these figures all are the same. There's different colors. So, and then they came out with the Trons. So you had Biotron. These are actually larger figures. So the Biotron was a 13-inch. He was pretty much the tallest of the Micronauts. As like I said, the regular Micronauts and all those other figures we just talked about are 3 3/4 inch. So this one's 13 inches tall. It's one of the first battery-operated Micronauts. and can be reformed into a tank or small rocket sled. So, like I said, all the parts on this robot come apart, can pop off, and refigure into like a little tank. So, and then your Micronaut can actually sit. It has a little part that pops up, and your Micronaut can actually sit in the seats on top of it. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah. Then there was a Microtron. It's 4.5 inches tall. It's battery operated as well. And then it's got the biggest thing I saw on this was the drill bits in a precarious position.
That's what I was like. Okay.
It's
I
not
was thinking
really
the same thing.
it's not really in a good spot to tell you for a toy. So it is lower where if you're drilling through something that's right there, but it,
Michael, shush.
Yeah, just keep going.
Just stop. Let's just move on.
All right.
The arms of this look like hamster wheels. Let's go there.
well, it's got arms. The wheels that are on there actually come off, and you have little arms that are on the inside of those wheels. But the wheels can it can kind of maneuver itself into like a rolling position or something like that. So, like I said, all these pieces can be interchangeable with all the other figures and stuff like that. So that's the biggest draw on these. So there's some vehicles on this line as well. You've got the Galactic Cruiser, which looks like a 3-wheeled something. I guess it looks something like out of Mad Max or something like that.
Kind of does, yeah.
And then
Got the rubber tip safety missiles.
it's got safety missiles on there as well.
Those still shoot an eye out.
Refigure it too. You can kind of change the stance and stuff like that on it. Move the missiles around to different spots and everything. So then you have the Hydra, which is it's kind of odd that the seat, you have the body of the vehicle low, and then the seat's on this little thing that sticks way up high, and then the command chair and the controllers and everything that the guy is on another arm, and he's sitting way up higher than what the vehicle is. So it's just a weird thing, but it, like I said, use your imagination on how you want to play. And you can move it around and stuff like that too. It doesn't have to sit as high, but it's just weird looking.
Why?
You're like cruising around up in the air. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's weird.
When you say Hydra, that's not what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's not Marvel. Okay, it's not an octopus.
Yeah. Then you had your Proton Sled, which looks like a rocket, not a rocket. It looks like a rocket jet. That's what I meant.
Yeah, this looks cool.
This actually has a wind-up motor, torque motor they used on a few of these vehicles as well. So you just kind of wind it up and it just takes off. These actually came with a time traveler figure in it. So you had the Photon Sled, like I said, looks like a jet. Then there's the Crater Cruncher. It looks like a tractor actually, and it came with a because it's got your little dump and your little
Your shovel.
your shovel, and then it's got a crane on the back of it. It just looks like
I believe it's called a scoot, but that is a tractor.
looks like Dad's tractor out here.
There's no. This kind of looks like a tractor. That is a tractor.
Mm-hmm. But it does, like I said, it comes to pieces, and you can rebuild it however you want to. Let's see what else is next. You have
this is a big wheel.
The Ultra
A big wheel.
Ultronic scooter. Yeah, it looks like a 3-wheeled motorcycle from the 70s with the
Man,
big
this could almost match the
handlebars
one
up
on,
in the air.
with
Biker Mice.
Yeah. So it's a pretty cool piece. This one comes with the wind-up motor as well.
I was thinking Police Academy.
Yeah, that would
The
be
other one, right?
it would probably
Either one
work
of them.
perfect with Police Academy. Yeah. So it's a cool piece. Then you have your Warp Racer, which is a race car. It's got a motorized motor in it, and it comes with the Time Traveler as well.
That is a Boy Scout Derby car made out of plastic.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it looks like. Yeah,
With a motor on it.
yeah, with a little wind-up motor. So, and then there's what's next? The hydrocopter. It's it's actually battery powered. When it rolls, it's got a big bubble on the front. That opens up. You can put your figure inside there and close the bubble. And then when it rolls, the bubble actually rolls, but your figure is suspended in the middle of the bubble. So he just kind of rocks there.
That's a gyroscope like copter.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
The gyrocopter.
And the propeller will spin. And then you can put, it's got a little water thing on there that when you put it in water, it's got a little water propeller as well. So when it's battery powered, so it runs, you can run it in water as well.
Got an aqua motor. Heard.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and then there was one more piece that wasn't actually made. It did have a Microman version of it in Japan, but the Micronauts version was never made. It was in the early catalogs, Amigo catalogs, but then since it wasn't made, they took it out later in later catalogs. But the Gyrotron.
This screams Joker to me. I don't know why.
It looks like some bad guy, evil.
Something from the animated series that
Vehicle.
Joker would use for some weird something. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So those were the vehicles. Then you had ships. So you had the Astro Station. This was a dual purpose flying battleship or stationary lab.
I'm guessing
You
it was more
can-
stationary.
Yeah, it could be. But it folds up and it looks like when you have it all folded up, it looks kind of like a flying. It doesn't really look like a battleship, but it's some kind of flying vehicle. But your figures, you get a couple figures inside, and the walls change around and stuff. And it also has a figure launcher, which you would put your figure in there and hit the button on it, and it would send your figure flying through the air. So
Okay.
It's kind of different. So, and then you have your mobile exploration lab. This was actually 14 and a half inches tall. This was a pretty good size set. But it looks like a tower with a jet underneath it. Is when you put it all together, but you can use it. You can take the tower off, use the jet separately. The tower actually can lay on its side, and you put another piece on the front, and it makes it into like a Land Rover thing. You can use the cockpit thing as a separate piece. It's just multi-purpose vehicle. It's got different things on it that you can do different things with. And like I said, all these vehicles have, and these stations and all this stuff, the sets all have those 5mm peg holes where you can change things out in and out and make it different. So, like I said, it all comes down to your imagination on things like that. So then there's a deluxe set. It's a Strata Station. It's a combination of like a radar tower and a racetrack. So it's got a 13-inch tower. And then on the outside of it has a big racetrack that a car goes around. And you can actually stop the car in different spots. It has a battery motorized car. You stop the car in certain spots and the back tires still spin. But where it stops, it'll stop on something that'll control something else inside the tower. And like there's an elevator, and you can stop the car, and while the wheels are still spinning, and it'll be sitting on top of another thing to spin something, make the elevator go up and down. And then there's another thing where you can attach your Micronauts to, and they do a little spinning move while they're on the little track. It's just all different kind of things you can do with this thing. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's everything that was on the first series there. So
This is so far the best worst toy line ever.
I think it's pretty cool toy line. So just the way everything kind of interchanges and
yeah, I mean
continues.
they got some weird decisions that they made on this. All right, so Series 2, this is 77.
Yeah, so you had the Feroids. These are fully posable space warriors with a time chamber. So the time chamber is like an Egyptian-style sarcophagus that your figures fit into. I don't know why they came with. I guess they sleep in there while they're time traveling. That's the only thing I can think of. But the sarcophagus matches the same color as your figure. So you have red and a white, or I think it's kind of gray, and then you have a blue figure as well. So,
Yep.
These also come with little winglets that fit on the side of their legs.
Is that what we call those?
That's
It
what's
says
called
leg
leg wings. But I don't know what they're supposed to be. They're just there for decoration. But they do come on and off. So, because you have to take them off to put them into the sarcophagus.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of a weird thing. So, now the first series, the Time Travelers, and that didn't come with any of this. So, but the Time Travelers then are more of a clear. These are more of
well, when you time travel in 76, you kind of lose yourself. You're a little clear. But these are solid.
Yeah,
because they have something. They have something that they're traveling in. They have figured that out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the sarcophagus keeps them colored longer. So, then you have the Acroyer 2. These are actually metal die casts and plastic, fully posable warriors. This is more of a poorly designed figure, the most poorly designed figure out of the whole set.
It has a detachable shin.
Yeah, I don't know. And then they don't have hands; they have
removable ball fists.
It's also got a detachable thigh
and a detachable hip,
well,
and a detachable head.
The whole figure kind of detaches.
It's all detachable.
Yeah. So, but I don't know about the chrome ball fist. I don't know what that's all about on there.
They look. Yeah, I don't know what to say about those.
So yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on.
Now you get to Baron Karza is the next figure. He is actually, when he came out, it was more of, hey, this is the leader of the bad guys.
Okay.
That's kind of what people thought. He's got magno power action, which means all his joints are connected with magnets. It's
magnets.
A ball and socket magnets joints. And then so you can pull them apart. He also has a horse named Andromeda. And you scroll further down, Andrew, you can see the horse. If you take the horse,
go ahead, Andrew, scroll down.
I'm scrolling as fast as I can.
If you take the horse's head off, you can put Baron Karza's torso, upper body part on him, and it looks like a centaur. And you can put the missiles that he has on the side of the horse body, and like I said, the horse and the Baron Karza himself are all magnetized.
Here's the horse with some type of wheels.
Yeah, the horse comes with wheels, and you can take the legs off and put wheels on it. However you want to do it. The tail comes on and off. It's got missiles as well.
Got like a scorpion tail.
Yeah. So one thing about Baron Karza, though, he's got this belly missile, I guess you call it. So in his stomach, he's got a little missile you can put in his stomach, and on his back he's got a button. You push the button and it shoots out the missile, so out of his belly.
Well, at least it's his belly and not down lower, like the drill bit.
So that's Baron Karza. So he's pretty much the leader of the bad guys that most people came up with their own thing. So yeah, and then go to
the horse. Okay.
So the next one is Force Commander. So he's pretty much the good guy, leader of the good guys. something else on Baron Karza and Force Commander. They are, I thought I wrote the size, but they are bigger than your normal.
They're 6.5.
6.5 inches. Okay,
Yeah.
6.5 inches tall. So they're bigger than your normal Micronauts.
Yeah.
So Force Commander is the exact same figure as Baron Karza, except he's white. Baron Karza is black. The only difference in them is the head sculpts are different. Their heads are different. That's the only difference. So you've got, so he's the same thing. He's got the Magno power action where everything's connected with magnets. He comes with a horse named Oberon. So that's he does the same thing as he looks exactly the same as Andromeda, but he's white instead of black. All the pieces are the same,
So
just different color.
So you could have two centaurs fighting here.
You could, yes.
Why would you not? That's the only
That's
way
the-
I would
yeah,
put them together.
That's pretty good, pretty cool.
And
Pretty cool
you
thing.
know, I know you're putting we're talking about the centaur part of it here. But when you put the centaur together, you know you're doing it the opposite way too, and you are definitely putting the horse head on
The body.
the legs, right?
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you can put his head. Yeah, like I said, everything's magnet. It just connects. So
I know it looks weird, but you're definitely doing it.
so,
Yeah, I'd like to see a picture of that.
Yeah.
but like I said, he's the exact same thing as the bad guy. Just the heads are different. That's it. So, this series also has Trons as well. You have Giant Okroyer. This is actually a 5-in-1 toy. There's 5 different toys in this one. He's 8.5 inches tall. This is actually the first Transformer Micronaut. So he actually, his arms are two. When you look at them apart, you have 2 different robots that actually become his arms, and then you have a rocket plane and then a missile launching vehicle, and you combine those. You kind of transform the plane and the rocket launching vehicle, kind of change them up, and they all combine into Giant Okroyer. So,
Okay.
so you get 2 robots, rocket plane, and missile launching vehicle, and then you get you combine them into one. So you get 5 different toys out of that one. So he's kind of credited as one of the first transforming Micronauts. So, and then
So would that make him an original Transformer? Because that's way before Transformers, right?
he doesn't. He doesn't quite transform exactly like.
He's
Transformers.
more of
It's kind of like a combiner bot.
Okay.
Combiner.
yeah,
But
he's
he
a
also-
Voltron type.
But you also have to transform you have to move some parts on the jet and the rocket launcher to actually make it look more body parts to make one full robot out of it. So,
He's like Voltron back here.
yeah, kind of bullshit.
You have to transform the lions, but then the lions come together to make Voltron.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, similar to that. All right, so you have more vehicles in this set. You have the Rhodium Orbiter, which kind of looks like a little race car.
So this
You
looks like a
have-
little car off of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a Mario Kart thing. It has a missile launcher on top. It's got a nose assembly that comes apart. It has all the pieces come apart, but it's kind of looks like a Mario Kart. It does.
This is where you shoot the stuff from. So when you're shooting your shells.
All right, so that's the Rhodium Orbiter. Then you have the Thorium Orbiter, which looks more like a kind of a spaceship type thing.
This is straight out of Star Fox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Yeah, and I just said that. Yeah, it looks like a Star Fox.
Yep.
And then you have Neon Orbiter, and I don't see anything neon about it. It's just like a 3-wheeled. I don't
It's
know.
not
like
even
some
neon
kinda-
colors.
It's
No, there's no
a
neon.
trike. I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. And then it's got it's got a little thing you put on the back that makes it look like some kind of one-man helicopter thing without the helicopter part on top. So, I don't know. Just kind of weird.
Are you talking about the stabilizer wings? In the
Yeah,
back?
the stabilizer thing in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If you put a dome over it and put a propeller on top, it looks like a helicopter, but it's not. Or it does to me. Maybe it's just me. Okay, so in that picture, it doesn't look like that. So, all right. So next you had the Aquatron. This is going to be on water or land. It's got wheels. It looks like a little, what kind of little thing board you stand on, and you got the handlebars, and you just roll on it. I don't know.
So it looks like what's the ones the mall cops use? You know,
A Segway?
yeah, but with more than two wheels.
Well, cops use three-wheel Segways because they're slow.
Stable, right? There you go.
Stable's a word.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the word I would use to describe these mall cops, but
Yeah. So it's just a little. It's just a weird looking little riding thing that you can ride on water or land with it. So that's the Aquatron. Then you have some ships as well. Or you have a ship with this series called the Battle Cruiser. Now this is a big set here. This has got it's got 8 toys in one. It's got 70 different pieces. When it's fully together, it holds 4 figures in it. But like I said, there's a lot of pieces to this. Like I said, there's 70. It breaks down into different little vehicles that your figures can sit in. There's like a jet. Looks like some boats or something. It's got all different kinds of like a battle station looking thing. But you combine them all together to make one big battle cruiser. All right. So that was Series 2. So Series 3 real quick. You have the Galactic Defender. These figures are fully posable figures with laser sword, leg rockets, backpack power unit, a stun carbine, and then a see-through aerobionic helmet.
That kind of makes him look like a skull inside the aerobionic helmet.
This whole thing reminds me of a reverse mermaid. It looks like legs with a fish head to me.
Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can take the helmet off, but like with the helmet on, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've got a lot of different pieces on this. That this is the figures. These figures are the ones that are always losing the most pieces because there's a lot of pieces that come with it. Like you said, you have the wrist and hands. You have removable leg rockets. You have the sword. You have the helmet. You have the little carbine gun. The feet and ankles, like the other Micronauts, are all interchangeable. So you can lose all the pieces to this. So it's pretty.
So it's a laser sword.
Yeah, it's a laser sword. Yeah. And this series was the 1978. So kind of get the laser sword from possibly
the laser sword. It's not a lightsaber. Okay,
some
right.
kind of lightsaber.
It's a laser sword.
So, all right. So the next thing, that was the only figure that came out in Release 3 or Series 3. Now you have Trons. These are actually getting into originals from Mego. These are not the Takara figures either. So you have Phobos. He's based on Biotron, like we talked about from the first series. This figure was one of the first Mego designed Micronauts, like I said. And he does turn into a tank mode. He's very similar to Biotron, but they made some changes to it, so it's not the exact same figure. just to say, hey, this is our own figure and not the one from Takara.
So the drill bit's not in the wrong spot.
No, that's your other.
Not on this
that's your
one.
other. That's your other one. So the next guy is called Nemesis. He is based on Microtron with the drill bit. But this guy doesn't. His isn't a drill bit. It says removable drill on there, but it's kind of like a cone or something. I don't know. So, but the only weird thing about him, now he's another Mego original that they came up with. They just used, and they used similar design from Microtron, but they colored him black and pink. So I don't know why. He's the bad guy to Microtron, but he's pink. I don't know. So
Okay.
I guess he can be pink. So the next Tron is actually there's three different. It's Alpha, Beta, and Gammatron. So there's three different vehicles in this. There's you got Alphatron, Betatron, Gammatron. They kind of say it's the lamest set out there because they do funny things when they all got motorized things on there. But one kind of wobbles, the other one kind of somersaults, and another one kind of hops. So if you look at their motor and the way their wheels are positioned on there, it just make them. They do different things. The base for these three are based off of the little car from off of the Strato station, the little car version on that. That's what the base of these are. So, and like I said, they're motorized, but it's the guy who ran Mego said if these came out before he even saw them, he said if he knew about these, he would have probably not done these at all. Said he probably would have thrown them back in the face of the designer and say these are just stupid.
These are weird.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to figure out like the wheels and stuff, how they would do it and give that different.
yeah. So like this one here, the legs or the wheels have little extensions and little arms that stick out of it, and as they roll, the arms kind of make the vehicle flip around, and it's just weird. So I don't know. They don't have any relation to the Micronauts. It's just something they threw in there.
Interesting.
Not really working. So that was the Trons. You had the vehicles for Series 3. You had the Star Searcher. This was a 6-wheeled compact multi-purpose planet exploration vehicle. Is that long enough?
Yeah.
So it actually detaches and becomes, it can turn up to 4 to 5 different, depending on how you get it set up, 4 to 5 different vehicles. It's another thing that just turns into all different kind of things. Like you have a little bulldozer looking thing, a crane. You have like a little battle station, and then you put all that together and you come up with this exploration vehicle. So
This is really interesting.
mhm.
It's like Barbie's dream RV, but
It turns into
Space.
different things.
On
yeah.
Mars. Barbie's dream RV on Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you have, let's go into the deluxe sets for this series. For Series 3, you have the Galactic Command Center, the Interplanetary HQ, the Microrail City, and then you have an exclusive to Montgomery Wards, the Satellite Survey Station. Now, all these are part of the Micropolis sets. These actually are kind of they come in little pieces, and you spend the time to
These
put
look
these
like
things together.
What's that? What's that? Those things.
they're not Legos, they're connectors.
It connects.
Connects.
Yeah,
Connects. That's what it is. That's what somebody did. They went and bought some Connects. They threw them in a box and said, "This is
Yeah.
what you can do."
Yeah.
So
Right.
and you just build it the way you think you want to, and there's all these, and then they all connect together. All the sets connect together. Like I said, the Satellite Survey Station was a Montgomery Wards exclusive. So All right, so that's it for Series 3. So Series 4, real quick. I think we're
More
running
time
a long
travelers.
time. So you have time travelers, but these are pretty
Opaque.
well solid color. It says opaque, but they look more solid than opaque. They're the same guys from before, just more solid colors. And then you get into more Mego design figures themselves. So these aren't Takara pieces.
These
So
are
you have
superhero bad guys. These are villains. These are super villains.
yeah. So you have Repto. He's half man, half reptile from planet Soria. Is where he's from.
Okay.
He just looks like a flying pterodactyl man. What he looks like to me. Then you have so next you have Antron. He's a 6-limbed invader from galaxy Thoraxid. So he's like an alien ant man, I guess, or not
Mebros.
Ant-Man, but an ant man.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you have Mebros. He's a slithery-skinned invader from world Viserys. So he's all red. One thing about these 3 figures is they all have on the back of their heads, they all glow in the dark. This guy, I guess, and they're more like a brain-looking thing, but his looks just like a wild, some kind of haircut.
Yeah, I was looking at his haircut.
But the other 2, they look more.
He's got a removable glow ring.
Okay, removable glow brain.
So that's
Antron. Antron it actually looks like a brain on Antron, and then Repto is like a little strip down the middle of his top of his head. But yeah, it's got to remove. It's all removable. Go back to Repto and see. Yeah, his is removable too. Yeah, it's just shaped differently.
Yeah. Okay.
Then the vehicles for this series, you had the Tarion, and you had the Solarion. So these are both motorized. They're smaller vehicles than what you had in the other series. Now, and they like I said, they all use the same motorized wind-up motor that all of them use. It's all the same on all of them that you wind up. There's some of them use batteries, but these are the wind-up ones. Then you have your ships. You have Star Defender. This one actually is the most intricate ship they have, and it's one of the most rare pieces from the set, from the series, the line. So, and yeah, it's got it's battery operated as well. It's got a lot of different little pieces that's easily lost. You can reconfigure it different ways.
These are getting into what look like Zords.
Yeah,
Power
similar. Yeah, and then
here we go.
These definitely look like Zords.
Yeah, the Terrafant is actually the
and the name goes with it.
Yeah, it's actually Membros's vehicle. So it's from Viserys as well. And then you had the Hornet Droid from Thoraxid. And this is Antron's vehicle here. So it looks like a flying insect. That's what it looks like. Hornetroid. Then you have some deluxe sets. Is this? You have Rocket Tubes, which is actually a Sears exclusive. This is the transportation system of the future. So you put your figure in there, and it just shoots your figure around through this little tube. That's all it is.
I bet it got jammed up all the time.
It probably did. Yeah.
Is this the one that has? It does. It has the flying planes at the top.
Yeah, at the top you hit another thing.
Lever and release the Zingwing.
Yeah,
which would go flying across the deal
and put an eye out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of glide. Yeah, when you hit it, they go gliding.
You can run it. It's glow in the dark too. Yeah, I saw this on one of the commercials I was watching. It looked really cool, but
they got jammed up all the time.
I bet it did. Yeah. And then you had
Already been there.
Two more exclusives. You have Montgomery Ward's Blue Galactic Cruiser. So it's the Galactic Cruiser, but it's blue. And then Sears, you had Mega City and Sears, which is another Connect looking thing like we had from Series 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big one, Mega City. It's got all kinds of little things put together.
Yeah. Mega Block.
All right. So Series 5,
And on.
you got more.
Hey,
Are these
we get this
magnet ones?
These are not. These are some of these are more more figures that Mego actually made up themselves.
Yep, I can tell.
The majorities are Mego and not Takara pieces. So you have the Centaurus, which is the Conqueror Gladiator from faraway planet Equestris. He looks like a centaur with the horse's head, so instead of a man's head.
Interesting.
You have Lobros. He's the scaly creature from deep oceans of Xenon.
He's got another removable glow brain
In his mouth.
It looks like it's
in his mouth.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Kind of weird, yeah. And then you have
Kronos, who looks like a
Mandarin.
praying mantis.
Yeah, praying mantis.
Yeah. An orange. This belongs directly with the not Inhumanoids. What was the toy line we talked about that? Bugs of Insecta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bugs of Insecta. Yeah, he looks like that.
Yeah. Emperor. I'm gonna say bad guy.
Yeah, he looks like a bad guy.
And he also has his horse. What's his horse name? Crone? No, Megas.
Megas.
Which then he can turn into a centaur.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the
another
same
thing.
thing. Yeah, he
So
does.
you have-
He's got the
Hey.
magnet stuff.
More centaurs.
This looks
Mhm.
more like a centaur than
The centaur?
Centaurus.
Yeah. And then you have King Atlas. You know, he's magnetic too.
With what's this? That's a weird. I don't know what's up with that bug face.
Lanturion.
Lanturion.
That's a bug face right there.
Yeah, that is a. That's not a
So
horse
it's-
face.
It's the horse. It's the horse figure with some kind of bug looking head.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's a weird looking figure.
And then Green Baron.
Hmm.
Green Baron.
This one's a little
Um,
more. This guy's a little more rare than the other magnet figures.
These guys vaguely remind me of the Big Giant. What's
So these
the
were pretty much released in Italy, is what it's saying.
Yeah, some of these
The
were
last
more.
two.
This is the last release. A lot of these are very rare in the U.S. and more Italian pieces here. They were released.
the
more
Iron Giant?
that. They look
Yeah.
like the Iron Giant. Yeah.
They did.
Yeah,
Red Falcon.
good guy.
So he's the wing prince of all the Micronauts.
Hmm.
So,
The sword kind of resembles some other stuff we've seen.
yeah.
I got a sword over here like that.
He's got magnetic wings, magnetic legs. Yeah, so he's
right.
he's a little bit of everything there.
Oh, we got to talk about
That's
Blizzard.
That's the last. Let's see. That's the last of the figures of the whole line. Blizzard here. It looks like he's making a blizzard in his cup there.
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea here.
Yeah, and this guy was just part of the gig company, which was their Migos Italian part.
Yeah,
So this was the Italian Micronaut line. So at the end of the run,
Hyperion. which is a ship, like a 3-wheeler ship.
With a
vehicle.
missile launcher battle ram.
Yeah. Ampzilla? That's a grasshopper. That is a Reptar grasshopper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Lobsteros. Lobster. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Kind of looks more like a crab to me.
Yeah.
John, you wouldn't know. You can't touch crabs. Just kidding.
I just can't eat them.
And then you got
Sharkos.
Sharkos.
At least that one looks like a shark.
It kind of looks like a shark.
Yeah,
And it's got Antron. It's got a blue version of Antron on as the figure with it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for Micronauts.
That is okay. These are very interesting. We need to let's rank these for us real quick. I need to know where you guys would put these on your lists.
I actually
Michael,
like this line. I like this line.
I figured you would. You're putting them in your top 6.
I am putting them at number. Put these number 2.
Told you.
Yeah.
Wow. You pushed down GoBots?
I mean, GoBots deserve to be pushed down, but
Well, but
I need to find something I like more than and GoBots in my all-time list. GoBots probably half in the middle of the list, so we really haven't had anything this last episodes that actually outdid that. So,
I know mine's 7. John,
I like these. John, what do you got?
I will put these above Migos Eagle Force. What was that, Andrew? Don't. Way down at the bottom, number 12, 13, 14? No. 14, 15, 16, 17.
you said above
20.
19.
They were 19.
So it's actually about 20. So, because Rock Lords is 19. But yeah, they're way down there. They're interesting, but yeah, they just didn't catch my interest.
There's pieces of this that I like. There's pieces of this that I think are stupid,
Especially the last couple of series.
The first 2 series are really, really good series. And like I said, most of it is Takara pieces that got reused. And a lot of these Micromen were predecessors to Transformers.
Right.
I mean, I like it.
But I mean, if you look at the way they hold up, Michael, you have 3 in your possession that are pretty much marionette puppets if you want to tie some strings to them. And you can't just prop them up. And even now with the ones we're getting, the retro toys and stuff that we buy now, they just kind of go limp over in the corner.
This is going 14 on my list. I'm pushing down. They're going right underneath Troll Dolls for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Miko seems to be down on my lower list on several of them.
Okay, let's do this. John, give me my jingle. You got my jingle?
Did Larry have it?
Hey, it's Larry from the STS guys again. What's up? Micronauts. Nah, I don't remember these. I Googled it. They were early, like 1980. I think it was before my time. I did not have Micronauts. I don't even remember Micronauts.
Well, there you go. Larry didn't have any. That just doesn't surprise me. These were earlier, like he said.
I think
hadn't listened to that one.
If I was 5 years older, or if these came out 5 years later, I'd have these. These are. I like them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 5 years. We would have probably had. You would have had them. We would have had them because, or me and you would have had them. They may not get.
And again, it's something that Mego. It was right at the end of Mego.
Right.
So we talked about.
And I think that's my problem with Mego is they didn't survive. Like
No.
they were not a big part of my childhood because they didn't survive. Like they
weren't a big part of my childhood either.
They failed. All right. Well, this we talked about Micronauts. It's a cool line. It's very interesting. It's probably the best Migo line that we've talked about, in my opinion. So I do like some of the their monsters, but I kind of feel like those are a little different because those are monsters. Monsters are always kind of cool.
You
So
have pricing.
do you have pricing?
I do.
He does.
I do.
Okay, give us some
Before we
prices.
go to-
Prices, Joe.
Yep.
All right. So, Biotron. This is 1977 JCPenney catalog, Christmas book catalog. So, Biotron was $11.99.
What do you think? Would you pay?
20.
Would you pay $60 for that?
Ooh.
Probably 40.
For Biotron?
Yeah, it's $57.20.
No. But see, here's the other part. The Astro Station was $11.66.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah, but that was the station. So, and then you had a 3-pack of the Time Traveler that Michael has, which looks like it's the same 3 that he has, for
It actually does, yeah.
$4.88
For a 3-pack?
for a
That's all
3-pack
3 of them? Oh, okay.
That's $23 today.
for those 3. And then
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't do $23 for these things.
No.
no, not for those things.
Today's money, maybe a couple of dollars a piece.
The Hydrocopter, which is one of the ones that probably caught my eye more than any of the others, was $7.99,
That's $40 right there.
which is still more than I would want to pay for.
Yeah. I mean, that one's cool, but yeah, it's more than I would want to pay for it.
Yeah, you gotta remember that Biotron. He's battery operated and everything like that too. So
Batteries not included, still $60.
Woohoo. Okay.
$1.33.
So
$1.33 a piece.
here's the big tower one with the jet on it, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
What was that called? I can't read it now.
Tower with jet on it.
So that was $11.87.
Still $60.
Yep. For one of the Time Travelers, $1.33
That's $6. $6.50.
for one of those, Michael. I still,
$1.33 a piece. What was it again, Andrew?
$6.50.
Nah, yeah, that's too much.
so, and then we have some of the other vehicles and stuff in here that I found. I also uploaded pictures from 78, so you can go look at those on the.
I don't think
Right.
I would pay $1977 for these.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not
The
paying
little guy the 3-pack.
a 3-pack. I would pay like $5. That's
Well,
it.
that's what the 3-pack was.
Okay, it's
$4.88.
$4.88. But I'm
I
not.
would tell you, I'd pay $5 in today's money for the 3-pack.
Right.
Yeah. Like
Maybe.
these. Oh no, these prices.
I don't know. For $5,
You tell us. What I want to know is, you're as a listener, do you collect these? Do you like them? What do you think? Send us a message. Let us know what you think about these, because these it's a very interesting line. It coming at the end of Migo, this is one of those that probably helped push them out, along with Dukes of Hazzard. Like, we know that they didn't survive after Dukes of Hazzard, but the way that they started this line, this could have been their savior, but then they,
right?
yeah. I guess really what their savior could have been is if they'd gotten Star Wars
If they hadn't have been out of country
out of
when
the
it
country.
started,
Out of the country.
when
Yeah,
they started bidding
so-
on it.
If you're listening to this, send us a message. Let us know. Tweet to us. Let us know what you think about Micronauts. If you collected them, if you have any. I don't think Michael's looking to, rehome his 3, but if you're willing to pay $5 a piece, he might.
Right.
If you're looking for them. While you're doing that, check us out over at crossthestreamsmedia.com. You can look at all of our partner podcasts that we have over there. There's quite a list. Pretty much if you're looking for anything, you can probably find it over at crossthestreamsmedia.com. While you're there, that's where you can leave us a voicemail if you'd like to, just the way Larry did. Tell us what you think about some of the toy lines that we've talked about through the past. This is episode 88? 89. No, 89.
Oh, it is 89.
Yeah, 89. So there's quite a few episodes.
88 was Willow.
Yeah. There's quite a few episodes that you can tell us what you think about. Any of the ones that we've talked about. Is there a toy line you want to hear us talk about? We still have plenty to go through, but we'd like to hear from you. Also, if you could, leave us a iTunes ratings and review if you're an Apple person. That helps us, pops us up on the list. I did see we were like 135th in hobbies in Canada. So I just assumed that's because Nate was like, hey, I listened to these guys once.
I was going to say, it's just Nate alone, right?
Yeah. That's it. So if you could do that, it'd be great. We'd love to have some good ratings and reviews. We got one not too long ago. I don't remember what it said. I'd have to look it up. Micronauts. Any closing thoughts about Micronauts?
Not
a
a
cool
micro.
Use your imagination, whatever you want to do with it. Interchangeable.
It's like
pretty cool.
It's like the guys that designed it. They went and bought some Kinects and used their imagination, threw them in a box, and allowed you to then use your imagination to put those Kinects together under a different name. All right. Well, this is episode 89. We talked about Micronauts. Hope you enjoyed it. And on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.